everyone, Sparrow here, and today we're going to talk about something that no one else talks about in this field, and it is when to lose it or go Defcon 3 on a narcissist. And there is a time and a place to do this. And before I made this video, I did some research because I wanted to see what other professionals in the field say. And I have to tell you, I was disenchanted. Most people say, oh, never call out a narcissist, don't stand up for yourself, just deflect and do this and do that, and then leave. Yeah, of course, we want to leave if the relationship is truly toxic, right? But it's not always a possibility right at that moment, right? And so the advice out there, I'm sorry, I just think it's bad. I think there is a time and a place. Now, if you watch some of my other videos on how to win an argument with a narcissist, basically, yeah, I give you tactics and skills to not ignore, to not let them bully you, to actually outsmart them, because that's the key here. And it is true that in some ways narcissists can be smart, right? Because you have to be somewhat smart to be manipulative, but they're not that smart. And dare I say, they're not smarter than you. If you do a little bit of research and some practice, you can become smarter than the narcissist, and you want to become smarter than them. You want to outmaneuver them because they're going to ruin your life. Did you hear that? They're going to ruin your life if you let them. So we have to stop. We have to say, okay, no matter what, I'm not going to take what they say personally. I'm not going to let it feel like a personal attack. They're nuts. They're crazy. They're trying to gaslight me. They're trying to manipulate me. It's not going to work. Okay. So when do you just lose it on a narcissist? Now, by the way, I want to make the disclaimer, if you're living with someone who's violent, these are not the tactics and skills for you. The thing you need to do is you need to leave. Okay. If you are worried about your physical safety, you need to go. This is for the person who is living with a covert narcissist, a whiny baby who's driving you nuts, or, even a grandiose narcissist, or someone a bit sociopathic who just wants to put you down, just wants to keep you under their thumb and keep the crazy going, keep the chaos going, okay? But if you ever feel in danger, do not use these tactics. Got it? Okay. So when you want to really lose it is when the narcissist has done something so egregious that they can't explain it away, right? So let's say they've stolen money from you, or let's say they have had an affair and you have the proof, or let's say they've done something just terrible to the kids, or gosh, I can't tell you how many stories I've heard. Let's say they didn't pay the mortgage for 6 months and they used the money on something else, okay? Something pretty egregious. You need to let them know, basically what we want to do is we want to bully and intimidate them so that they don't do that thing again. And of course you put things in place so that they don't do that thing again. But you want to bully them and you want to intimidate them and make them feel small. Now, this is why I say go Defcon 3, because it takes a lot to make a narcissist feel small. They will deflect and argue and accuse you and maybe yell and throw things. I mean, who knows? But you have to stay the course. You overpower them with your words, with your tone of voice. Now, when I would recommend raising your voice to a narcissist, don't go up an octave, don't squeak, don't scream. You lower your voice register and you make it loud, and I call it teacher voice, and you make your voice kind of booming. And if you can't do that, check out some YouTube videos. I'm sure you can find some ways and some tactics. So you lower your voice, but you raise it at the same time, and it projects, and it really makes you come across as powerful and authoritative. Now, we're not whining. When you whine, you go, I can't believe you did that. Oh my gosh, you're so disempowering yourself. Don't do it, okay? Drop your voice down, make yourself sound ferocious, because you need to be ferocious with these people once in a while. They are slowly killing you, okay? Nobody else really points that out. It is true. So You're going to lower your voice but raise it at the same time. And you're going to continually talk over them. So every time they say something or try to say something, because they're just deflecting, they're not saying anything of value, you talk over them and you say, nope, this is what you did. Nope, nope, not buying it, not buying it, not buying it. And you repeat yourself over and over and over, okay? You just repeat yourself. Now, sadly, I'm teaching you how to become a bully, but there's a time and a place and a season for everything. And is there a season sometimes to be a bully? There is. Imagine if you're getting attacked by a dog, right? So you're on a nice walk, here comes a dog, and this has actually happened to me, by the way. And here comes this dog, and you have to scare the dog because the dog's gonna eat you, okay? That's sometimes the same scenario when you're with a narcissist. You're going to intimidate, and by the way, I did scare that dog. It was some big Great Dane Doberman-ish looking thing, and I scared it, and I was more ferocious than the dog, and it saved me. It saved my life. So there is a time and a place. So you talk over them, you keep interrupting, you raise your voice, you make it sound like a boom, and you don't put up with their garbage. You don't put up with it. And you get the last word. It might be intense. It's going to be a dogfight, but you get that last word because this is self-preservation. And we don't preserve the true self by rolling over and playing dead. Now, is there a time to roll over and play dead? Sure. If I'm in the woods with a bear, I'm going to play dead. I'm not going to be ferocious, okay? But in these instances, you don't roll over and play dead because every time you do, you lose a sense of yourself. A piece of yourself just breaks off and dies if you accept the behavior, the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting of the narcissist. I promise you this is true. So you don't do it. I mean, at times, right, you might have to use some of the other tactics I talked about, like saying, oh, nice try. You know, because 99% of the time, I do recommend staying calm, cool, and collected. But there are those times you have to get ferocious. And you do it for you. You are standing up for you. And you are letting that narcissist know they can't bully you. They can't break you. Okay? Now, when you are losing it on the narcissist, here's the deal. You can't lose it emotionally inside. This has to be planned and this has to be calculated, okay? You are planning this meltdown. And so if your emotions get the better of you, that's not cool because then you might say things or do things that you didn't intend. And that's not safe. This has to be a planned losing it, okay? So you're thinking about it in advance, you think about what you're gonna say, you might even practice a couple of times, but you're going to do this in a calculated way, okay? I'm gonna make a separate video. The true way to deal with a narcissist, sadly, is to become a bit of a sociopath. So you have to put up that wall where you just don't care. Okay, if you've ever watched the show Vampire Diaries, which I'm going to do a separate video on that too, because the best way to learn how to deal with a narcissist, I think, is to watch that series. And in that series, the vampires have this thing where they can turn off their humanity. And that's really what happens with a narcissist a lot of times, or a sociopath. They turn off their humanity and then they don't care and they have no remorse and they have, you know, just no empathy for you whatsoever. So when you're going Defcon, you're going to have to temporarily turn off your humanity. Of course, we want to turn it back on later, but this is really important. It's an important skill, and it's kind of like, you know, going to learn martial arts. And what do they say? You learn martial arts so that you don't ever have to use it, right? But there might be that time when you're in the street getting mugged that you have to use it. This is the same concept. I don't want you doing this all of the time. It will be exhausting and it'll lose its intended effect. But when you do this on occasion and you do the rare occasion and you execute it properly, you can actually scare the narcissist. And that is powerful. And sometimes it's really necessary to get them to back off, to get them to stop doing what they're doing if it's egregious. And even if they're, you know, if they're constantly badgering you, this can really shut them up. Now, as far as what to say, that depends on you and it depends on the situation. But if I'm calling somebody out on a big lie, I'm going to go on and on and I'm going to hammer it. Nope, you're lying. Nope, liar, 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 liar. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. And I probably don't even use the term gaslighting because, narcissists now are onto the term. I just call them out as a liar or a cheater or, whatever the case. And you can break a narcissist. It takes a long time, but you can break them. And sometimes when you break them, then they're going to be a little bit easier to live with. And again, this is not a long-term solution, okay? I don't want you to live like this for any length of time. But if you are in the process of trying to get your life together, trying to get ready to leave or come up with a plan, sometimes this is appropriate. If you're divorced from the narcissist and they're badgering you about the kids or badgering you about how bad of a mom you are, and sometimes this is, the reverse is true with women and men, there might be that time where you have to go Defcon. And again, just protect yourself, be careful, make sure, people aren't recording you or whatever. But even if they are, you're not going to throw a bunch of F-bombs. I mean, you don't have to. That's not the point of this. The point is to really establish yourself as dominant in the situation. Okay, so let me know if you have questions on this. I might have to do a follow-up because this is a lot of information. But if you found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And just know there's going to be a lot more coming. So guys, as always, hug yourself from me, and we'll see you next time.